What is going on, guys? Today we are back working on the Toyota pickup. You might remember last month when we did the Bruce Creek Trail, at the end of the video I complained that my clutch was shot again. Oh yeah, my clutch is shot again. Well, before that, I noticed the clutch was acting a little bit weird. Like the master cylinder just felt really squishy. So, I don't think the clutch is shot because it engages. I drove all the way back with it. It was really hard to change gears. And because I don't think that the clutch is actually shot because it's brand new, I went and got a new slave and master cylinder for the clutch system. And hopefully, those will fix the issues. I wanted to go OEM with these parts, so I picked up a Aisin slave cylinder from Rock Auto, and unfortunately Rock Auto did not have an Aisin master cylinder, but the Luke version had the Aisin part as its picture, so I picked that up, but there's no indication that that's actually Aisin. Alright, the first step in removing the master cylinder from your Toyota is you look at the very end of your clutch pedal. And at the end of the clutch pedal, you'll see a pin going through it, attaching the push rod for the master cylinder. You gotta get a pair of pliers and pull the little pin holding the big pin in place, and it'll slide right out. Just to give you an idea of what you just saw, I took this little pin off of the big pin, and then it slides out of this whole mechanism here. All right, next step, go under your hood and then get your line wrench and take off the line going into your master cylinder. That is a 10 millimeter. Okay, and the last step is quite easy. You get a 12 millimeter and take off this bolt here and the bolt directly underneath it down here that I hope you can see. It's all right, she's in my side. And now that those bolts are off, the whole thing should just come right out, in theory. And after checking that they're the identical part, reassembly is super easy. Just put it back in exactly how it came off and follow the video in reverse. Here's something rather interesting to note. Because my truck was an auto from the factory, I manual swapped myself, and when I made the hole in the firewall, it fit this. But interesting fact is it doesn't fit this. Look, you can see it is visually slightly bigger. I gotta grab my Dremel and make the hole in my firewall slightly bigger to accommodate the aftermarket parts. And just like that, the new master cylinder is installed. Time to move on to the slave cylinder. The slave cylinder is actually considerably easier to take out than the master. Really, it's just those two bolts on the bottom, 1, 2, and you gotta use your line wrench and take the line off of the back of it. I apologize, I actually set up the camera but forgot to hit record when I took the slave cylinder out, but it was super straightforward, and if you take out the two bolts and the line, it'll come right out. As you can see, the old slave cylinder actually isn't that old, or it was brand new when I did the manual swap a couple years ago now, but I figured I'd be safe and replace it with an Aisin part anyways, and I know for sure that the clutch system is good. So let's throw it back in. Perfect, and now that your slave cylinder is installed and your master cylinder is installed, top up the reservoir of brake fluid and bleed the line, and the job should be complete. Or so I thought. Turns out that the brake pedal bracket on the truck is actually broken and was the cause of the problems the whole time. Check it out. And as you can see right up here, that's where the crack is on the pedal assembly. Time to take off the master cylinder. I just bolted up there, take off the brake booster, unbolt the pedal assembly from the firewall, and yeah, take it out. And it is out of the truck, and as you can see, it's a pretty good brake in there. So the plan is I'm going to try to push this back together, weld it, and try to make some sort of brace on the inside holding it together so that it's stronger for the future and it doesn't break again. What I got going on here is I got a pair of vice grips holding these two pieces together, and I just took my channel locks and bent it as straight as I can, and I can see there's a nice seam here for me to weld on. So, day 2 working on the truck. Last night I worked until dark. Didn't film it, obviously I couldn't really because it was dark, but some good news. I got the pedal assembly in last night, and check it out. And watch, clutch is in, first gear, oh yeah, reverse, no problems. We just finished the test drive and everything is working fantastic and as it should. That's so great. So, if this helped you guys out, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or if you're just into this stuff, and we will see you in the next one. Peace. You know what's impressive? I took this thing for a test drive around the block, and somehow my 10 mil managed to stay on the bleeder screw here on the slave cylinder. That's, yeah, that's really impressive that that stayed there.